Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new video on More Motivations YouTube channel. This video is going to be very chill, very informative, very necessary for the culture. And I suggest you get your wine glass, your coffee mug, your tea. Get an empty cup because I'm about to feel it by the end of this video. So I hope you watch all the way to the end. Speaking watching up until the end, make sure you subscribe before we get into anything. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, you know the drill. Thank you, join the family. All right, y'all, so today's episode is gonna be amazing. Like, I don't really know what to say. It's necessary. We are going to get into the 10 things that women don't have time for. And because y'all know this is my 3rd time doing this on my channel, we're going to get into some makeup while we talk about this. So this is another version of makeup and motivation. Let's hope the words actually show up on the screen that way. Ha! All right, y'all. So I'm going to take my primer, Fenty Beauty Black Owned hydrating primer, but let's get into it, y'all. First one, as I get into my primer, ooh, whoa, unnecessary. Oh, y'all, I can't even read it correctly. Help me. First one is unnecessary ego. And I have a mirror down here, so don't mind me if I'm looking down. Unnecessary ego. Women no longer have time for unnecessary egos. And we can clap some hands for that. Now, what we mean by that is we have no time for you to pretty much go above and beyond to, I would say, waste our time, that's the best way to put it, with you being so full of yourself that you can't come down off your cloud to be present with the person that you're dating. Because egos can really mess up a relationship, because what it creates division. It creates a divide between you and your partner, because you got one person feeling like they're more superior than the other. Now, are there women with unnecessary egos? Yes, there are. And keep in mind, every point that I make can also apply to women. I'm not sitting here trying to bash men. I'm just speaking from a woman's voice. And men, if you feel like your woman falls into this category, we need to have a conversation with her too. So I'm not biased in any way. This can go for either side. But when you have an unnecessary ego and you have that power trip, like you want to be in control, it creates division. It creates this sense of, you know, my perspective matters, my idea matters, I'm all that and a bag of chips, and you're not. And when you create that, I would say, energy in your relationship, once that person comes into full awareness of who the heck they are and their worth, they ain't gonna stand for that. You follow me? So the minute that ego creeps up, ladies or gents, the minute that ego creeps up and you feel like something ain't sitting right, you know, you taking more selfies than me, you know, everything is about how you look, what you want. It's just a sense of selfishness in a way. And we're going to get into selfishness more in my other list. But the bottom line and the point that I'm making is egos really can ruin a relationship, because it allows the other person to not feel like they match up. It allows the other person to feel like somewhat there has to be a competition in the relationship, in the partnership. And what's the point of dating somebody that you're in competition with? Like, that's whack to me. If I gotta compete against you, that's whack. Another thing that ego brings to the table is this sense of, I want to have control, that I want to be on this power trip. I want to somewhat date somebody who I can feel that I can get into their head, manipulate. And I know this may be hard for some of y'all to digest, because maybe you've fallen under this category, you've dated someone who falls under this category, and it's hard to like face it. But if you feel like you struggle with an unnecessary ego, the first step to get it corrected is to address that it's there. That's with anything. The minute you address that there is an ego and there is a common denominator, and while all your relationships are not working, or while all the people that you date just feel like they can't win with you, not that it should be that way, but you get what I'm saying. If there's that common denominator, you got to look within and say, do I really want this for myself? Do I really want to keep treating the people that I say that I love with that type of treatment? Is it really necessary? Is it bringing happiness in my life to be this way? Or is it one of those things where it's a non-negotiable? I'm not going to change my ego. I'm the SHIT, or some people say I'm all that in a bag of chips. And you kind of feel like, you know, can't nobody tell me nothing. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with having confidence, but your confidence should not bring down your other partner. And we're going to sit to that. The confidence you have in yourself should not, I repeat, should not take down the confidence of the person you're dating. It just shouldn't. Sorry, point blank, period. It shouldn't. Number 2, treating us as if we are your child and our perspective doesn't matter. That also goes along with people who have unnecessary egos. So treating us as if we're your child. So a great example of this is, and I've been there, done that, guys, is dating somebody much older than you. Now, ladies, if you've ever dated an older man, like for instance, let's say if you're 21 and you dating a man that's 30. I know 8-year difference, but let's say if it's that scenario. As much as that 30-year-old gonna wine and dine you, gonna make you feel like they so into you, you know, there are some guys that date younger women that do that on purpose for a reason, okay? And don't be offended when I say this, but they do it for a reason, because they know what they can get away with somebody who's younger. And it's almost like they come into the relationship having assumptions, having these kind of preconceived notions that, you know, I know more than you, I've had more experiences than you, so you really can't tell me anything. And then you got those people who treat you like you're a child and y'all literally the same age or like a year or two apart. You have those as well. So you have both sides who try to treat you like you their sibling but want to call you a life partner. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So the reason why this is so problematic is because if you're choosing to be in a relationship with me, if you're choosing to somewhat do life with me, you got to value what I put on the table. I don't care how mature you are. I don't care how many things you've gone through in your life. I don't care how much trauma has hit your life. You can't downgrade or diminish or play down or belittle my experience. My experiences matter just as much as yours. And don't assume that just because our age number is different, that we both haven't gone through our own set of life experiences. Let's get into the third topic. One-sided pleasure / treatment. Woo! Need to sip on this one. I know y'all think I look crazy because my eyebrows are not done, but y'all just trust the process, okay? Now, getting into this point, one-sided pleasure / treatment. I know some of y'all may be thinking, Okay, I know where she going with this. One-sided pleasure / treatment. Now, but this topic can go for different scenarios. I promise you it can. So, number one, and hopefully we have a mature audience that it's not, wasn't born yesterday. But this could go into the sexual, physical topic, to where you have somebody who only wants to be pleased. They ain't trying to do nothing in that arena. And they want you to do everything for them. And they ain't really trying to do nothing for you. And they call themselves, loving you with all their heart. But everything is about what they want. There are those. And then there's the category of men who, I would say, they have one-sided treatment of what you can do for them. How good you can make them feel. How much you can go out of your way for them. You have those, okay? So, whichever category you have dated or been around, you know what I'm talking about. So, point number one. And we're using this Fenty Beauty foundation. One of my favorite foundations. So, point number one. And I only take just a little bit. Point number one. One thing about me personally, if I love you and I care about you, I'm going to put in my 100%. That goes in all arenas. But it's easier for me to give 100% and to go above and beyond for you when I know that that's being reciprocated back to me. It's not a tit for tat thing. It's just one of those things where it's like, we got each other back. I got you, you got me. And we're not going to leave each other hanging. So if you show me, I would say straight from the beginning of the relationship, that you're not selfish, that you don't show me those kind of traits, and that my pleasure and my needs matter just as much as your needs matter, you got me. We good, boss. But the minute you start doing that foolishness, where everything is about you and what you need and what you want and how you like it, and the way I like it don't matter, we're gonna have a problem. Period. So I know a lot of men, if you're watching this, you're like, man, I don't agree with that. I'm not like that. If you're not like that, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you are like this, you probably are finding a problem with what I'm saying. Because most people who have the problem always got a problem with what people saying. Period. Sorry, I'm very passionate about this subject. Make sure you get the neck, guys. The neck is very important. As you can see, I'm using a very light layer, because I ain't going nowhere in this video just for you guys. So this is what you call very light coverage. As you can see, nothing major. Like, oh, he don't mean no harm. Oh, let me go ahead and do that for him. Oh, you make excuses for the person. Been there, done that. I'm not gonna sit here and flex like I haven't done it. I've done it, sis. I've been that girl that let a nigga run me. Oh, sorry, guys. Let a guy run me. The point that I'm making to you is that it's very important that not only do you know your worth, but you don't put your worth on clearance. Because the minute a guy feels like your worth is on clearance, i.e. I've done this before, the minute your guy or the guy you're talking to feels like your worth is on clearance, they're going to use that to their benefit. They're going to keep charging that low price as much as possible, period. And you're going to be figuring out, why is everybody I'm dating with the foolishness and treating me as if my needs don't matter? Fourth thing is the absence of chivalry. Cue the violin. What you're not going to do, sir, is sit around and think that it's okay not to hold my door. It's okay not to have any sort of gentleman behavior towards me. It's okay not to hold my bags if I have a lot of bags. Those things I feel like are super like, this shouldn't even be problematic. But what I found, and I found this, I've had guys who do it right and I've had the ones who do it wrong. what I found is so problematic about this topic is it's a generational thing. And that I'm noticing that in this millennial generation, you know, in the early 90s babies that come, because I'm 29, early 90s babies, in this generation, you have a lot of men who, I would say, sorry y'all, gotta adjust this. You got a lot of men who, a lot of them weren't shown this sort of example. So they're like, why should I need to do all that for you? And ain't no man in my life showing me this. And I get that. But I need you to rise to the occasion. I know that may sound harsh. And you're like, no, you don't understand my background or what I've been through. I get all that. But it's a choice to be a gentleman. I don't care where you come from. My parents or my family could have been the worst ever. But it's a choice for me to choose the life I want to live. The legacy I want to leave behind. Period, okay? So it goes right back to chivalry. Chivalry should not be dead. It should not ever be an issue. And chivalry is not paying for a girl's meal at dinner. That's not chivalry to me. May mean something to you. Chivalry is simple things. Chivalry is what your grandma taught you. What your mama should have taught you. Chivalry is literally you going above and beyond to make that person feel protected, valued, to make the girl that you're with feel like, you know, they really are a queen. Just as much as you're a king, they're a queen. And they deserve all the respect possible if you're choosing to be in their life. This should not be problematic. Period. It shouldn't be. When we're talking about this, or when we think about this subject, it can ruffle a lot of feathers because now I get it. Everybody has chosen what they want to follow, what they want to do, and as you should. It's your life. You live it how you want to. But don't pretty much have expectations for a queen to come in your life and you can't treat her as such. And that's just on period. Don't sit here, have expectations for you to get top of the line, premium quality type of woman, and you can't rise to the occasion yourself. And if that offends you, good. Because it should. Period. And I may be saying period a lot, i.e. QNC girls. So, it's okay to hold your girl door. It's okay to make her feel loved, valued, special. It's okay to, if you want to, I'm not saying this should be a general thing, okay to pay for this and pay for that, as long as she hasn't made you feel like it's an obligation. And it most definitely should be okay to have the utmost respect. Ooh, child, I look crazy. And it's definitely, and y'all, excuse my bake, this is what I do. So if I look like a Pillsbury muffin, that's okay. It's a reason for that. The chase ends after month 1. We no longer have time for that. And ladies and gents, well, I'm sorry. We just gonna point this to ladies. Y'all, gentlemen, just forgive me. But ladies, sis, I know you've been there, done that. I know you have. Ain't nobody got time for no man who, and we know how the process goes. You get their number or they get your number. Y'all start texting. The text is fine. Y'all talking on the phone late night, you know. And then when y'all go on y'all first date, it's lit. And y'all just feeling each other. Like, everything is going perfectly. Y'all in that honeymoon stage. You feeling like this could possibly be the one, right? And then you get that notion that, I would say after month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, whatever month we want to categorize this under, that the chivalry is slowly, not just the chivalry, but the chase. That's what we're talking about. The chase is slowly running away. It's nowhere to be found. And I know a lot of men, they're very like, I don't believe in that chase stuff. You know, it should be equal. It should be 50-50. And in a lot of ways, it should be 50-50. But for me, just in my opinion, this is what my dad have always taught me. This is just what I've learned, come to understand and learn. And I take my bronzer as an eyeshadow. What I've come to understand and learn is that it should not be problematic for a woman to wanna, again, feel wanted. That should not be problematic. And it shouldn't go away just because y'all have gotten more comfortable. Like that sense of let's go out on dates. I understand we in quarantine, but you get what point I'm making. You still should be offering to plan stuff. You still should be making her feel like, you know, her existence in your life is a big freaking deal. Like when a woman feels valued, you got her and she got your back for life. She just does. A good woman, at least. Let me clarify, a good woman. Because the bottom line is you should literally feel blessed to have the queen that you have on your arm. And you should make her feel like, as much as you are special as well, that she made the right decision by keeping you in her life. I'm going to just leave it at that. Hopefully that made sense. So, number 6, walking away or avoiding uncomfortable dialogue. Woo! And I'm going to sip. Y'all ready for the sip? Yep, it's time. Child, this is something we all done been through, okay? Because we're human beings and our feathers get ruffled. And there are times where we literally, I should say, when it comes to an argument, we don't have much patience. I.e. me. I don't have much patience. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Me, in an argument, I don't have a lot of patience. I get frustrated very easily. But one thing about me, and I'm not sitting here trying to toot my own horn. One thing about me, I literally will want to resolve it before the next day comes. Like, I'm not the type of person that wants to go to bed mad, let it linger in the air. Like, the way I look at it, I understand we in this heated discussion or we in this uncomfortable discussion, but I don't want to walk away because at the end of the day, you mean so much to me that it means more for me to resolve this than to be right in the argument. And I think a lot of couples fall into that issue of somebody got to be right in order for y'all to feel better. And that is very toxic. Very, very toxic. And it'll have the person feel like, well, if ish really get hard, are you always going to avoid it? Are you always going to walk away? Because you do have certain men, and I'm not saying women don't do this either, but we specifically talking about men right now in this moment. You do have certain men that because they don't have a lot of emotions and because they're not like women when it comes to handling conflict, it's easier for them to walk away or take a walk or go in their man cave or go listen to music or go for a ride or jog, whatever that looks like to them. For them, they feel like that was the best thing to do because they don't want to say the wrong thing. But to the woman, it's like, don't leave. Don't leave me when I need you. Sorry, guys. Don't leave me when I need you. I need your support right now. I need you to have my back. I don't need you to leave because the minute you leave is the minute I feel like we're growing apart. Y'all, I'm trying to grow back my regular lashes because I was wearing false lashes way too much. And I was losing my regular lashes. That's never fun. Because the more you get in the habit of not avoiding the conflict, is the stronger you are as a couple, in my opinion. But if you literally see nothing wrong with always walking away, that's a problem. And in my opinion, a lot of arguments can be a blessing in disguise for your relationship. It was almost like it's exactly what your relationship needed in order to get back on track. And if it wasn't for that argument, y'all wouldn't have been able to communicate the way that y'all were able to because y'all finally listened to each other. And that's what a lot of relationships need. It needs a pause button so you can just listen to each other and stop trying to overpower each other. So again, we ain't got no more time for that. Number 7, and I'm going to try to hurry up and make this quick because I know y'all tired of hearing me. Number 7, only seeking support of your partner, no support from you. So, there's a lot of people, and you know who you are. You want your partner to go above and beyond to, you know, support you, to go along with your vision on things, your ideas on things, and you make them feel like only your ideas and perspectives matter more than them. And that's whack. I can't stress that enough. It's whack. Because support should go both ways. And as much as it matters to you for me to show up, it should freaking matter to you if you show up as well. I know it took me a while to get it out, but it should matter, period. Don't sit here and go off on me if I didn't show up at something, or if I'm not there at something and you can't even halfway reciprocate the same energy. That's pretty simple, right? I'm gonna just move on to the next one because we shouldn't spend too much longer on that. Number 8, creating gender roles that claim only women should do certain things. We all have done this, guys. I've done it. I've created gender roles in a relationship, and it's not healthy. So specifically, and we all know what I'm about to say, when it comes to women, a lot of men will make that woman feel like, hey, you know, are you gonna cook and clean for your boy? Or they have that expectation going into the relationship. It's almost like if you don't do it, you're not a full-blown woman. Or if you don't do it when they want you to do it, you're not womanly. Now, disclaimer, as a woman, it's our natural instincts to serve our men, to be there for them, to fix them dinner, regardless if we cooked it or not. It's like a God-given thing. Like, we want to do this for you because we love you. You know what I mean? But the minute you make it feel like, oh, it's this requirement, and oh, you better cook and clean, and you better do this for me because you ain't a real woman if you don't do this, then that's when it's a problem. It should be something I should want to do, first things first. And it should be something where if for one night I may be tired and I'm not feeling it, you're okay with doing it as well. You're not going to go off on me because I didn't do it in that moment. You follow what I'm saying? That's where I'm going with that. So don't make somebody feel like, oh, only you should do this. Same thing with working. Some women want to work and provide and be the woman of the house. Not every woman wants to be a housewife. So the point that I'm really making to you guys is don't put anybody in a box. That's not fair, because society has really taught us that women should be doing these things. It's not necessarily biblical. It's just what society has taught us. Let's be honest. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Number 9, being lazy, not walking in your purpose, leeching off the person you're dating. So we've all dated a guy who has sat on our couch, ate from our plate, and literally not put nothing on the table, but have all the expectation in the world for us to look out for them, for us to be there for their struggle, and they're not stepping to their full potential. Now, for me, I have no problem dating a man that doesn't have it all. That's not an issue for me. I don't expect you to have a bunch of zeros in your bank account for us to be equal, for us to be a unit. But the bottom line is, I need to feel like you're working towards something. That's a turn on. That makes me still want to come back to the relationship. When I feel like your work ethic is on fleek and you're literally like climbing to horizons in order to get where you want to be in life. So the minute I feel like you're being selfish towards me, or the minute I feel like there's this sense of, you know, where it's almost like a manipulation, like you're using me for your come up instead of you naturally using yourself for your come up, that's when it's a problem, and we no longer have time for it in 2020. Number 10, dun, 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 doing simple, thoughtful things, not just for holidays. I mean, what can I say? That's self-explanatory. A lot of us have dated people who only when it's Valentine's, Christmas, birthdays, or any special holiday, that's when they want to show up, right? Anniversaries, whatever the case is. But women love just because. We love, and it don't have to be a gift or physical store-bought gift. It can just be you thinking of something that I, said to you, or you doing a card, or you making a slideshow, or you getting flowers, or you just thinking of something, doing something sentimental. I can't give a million examples, but you know what I'm saying. You doing something sentimental that makes that person feel like, wow, you really care. And that is not just about a holiday, because holidays have controlled us. They've made us feel like we should only look forward to that holiday to show the person we love. And that's toxic, and it needs to be deaded in 2020 and beyond. Like, time out for us only dating on holidays and only loving each other or only showing each other love when society tells us we need to be in the stores doing that. No, that needs to be a 24/7 decision. It ain't gonna be thorough every day, but best believe if you practice making that person feel important as much as you can, your relationship is gonna remain stable. Now, as we close out the video, I hope that you took a sip with me. I hope that you learned a little bit of makeup tips. I didn't really talk in detail about the makeup because it was more about the 10 things. But make sure you follow me on More Motivation on Instagram. Make sure that you follow my podcast at Fill the Cup Podcast. I've still been posting really dope episodes on Fill the Cup Podcast, on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud. Make sure that you're leaving comments, like, share, because I feel like this video can really do something for the culture so that we can really change these toxic habits that we've grown too accustomed to love. Right? Okay. That's what I thought. Love you guys. I hope that you love this. Thank you for just listening to me. And if you made it to the end of the video, you're the real MVP. Love you. Bye. Just showing y'all the final look once I got in that glorious lighting. Yes. And I got makeup on my braid. But it's cool.